Welcome to the John Show with your host, John Doogie Clouser.
All right. What's going on, everyone? How are you? We are here on a new episode of the Juan Solo Show with your host, me, Juan D. Clouser, and this is episode 184. Yeah, 184 of this wonderful podcast that I do by myself, because it's I guess what you could say it's good practice to work on the lights and then the sounds and then the talking and the being just do this thing, you know. So what's up, guys? How are you? So, man, life weird, world weird, everything weird. Flash flooding, and I didn't even know there was flash flooding. I heard there was something going on in Burning Man, but it's Burning Man, and I just try so hard not to pay attention to it because just the idea of Burning Man hurts me inside. The idea of having to go out. It's one thing having to go to a concert. It's one thing having to get ready and then having to drive to that concert, let alone be at the concert. Because it's just, oh my God, dude, I went bowling today. And I pulled my fucking left butt cheek, which sucks. That hurts. Thank God it's not going to hurt my golf swing, because God forbid if anything affects that. But no, yeah, so, yeah, just the idea of Burning Man. It's just, there's flash flooding in Burning Man. Jimmy Buffett died, you know? The lead singer of Smash Mouth, apparently he has liver failure, and he's not expected to live by the end of this week. Today's Sunday. What is it? Sunday, the 3rd of September. Wake me up when September ends, am I right? So funny. I fucking hate that joke. I hate that song. It's so funny. I've never understood people who who are like, people are sellouts. Like, yeah, you might not like them. You might not like the style that they're doing. You might not like what they were doing before, and then, yeah, of course, they get bigger. They have to, and then they have to sign a contract. Because do you understand how that stuff works? Is that, you know, when you first start making music, when you're an artist, when you first start being an artist, you are poor. No one wants your stuff. No one cares about your stuff. And something happens. Very few, but it happens, and people are like, "Wow, I like your stuff. I want your stuff. I'll give you money for your stuff." Then that happens. But the thing is, when that happens, sometimes like bands, what they have to do is they have to sign a contract. And when they sign that contract, what it does, and it basically says, like, we'll give you this X amount of money, and with that X amount of money, you need to make this amount of albums. And so what happens is you just make stuff, and you're like, well, I gotta fucking pay my bills. I gotta make sure that that things are taken care of, because, God forbid, I want to be a human as well. It's so funny because they get mad. People get mad at artists. Like, oh, that person's sold out. You mean they just are able to pay they're able to get a mortgage payment? They're able to do a mortgage payment? It's like, another thing too is, like, do you understand that, when you say that, like, oh, I've been with this person, I watched this director from when he was nothing to this, or I was listening to this band before they were big, like, guess what? When that band succeeds, you kind of succeed too. You know why? Because you chose something that no one else liked. Think about it. You knew them when they were in 1995, when they had came out with that EP that had those four songs, and then it had then had track 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then on the 13th, 14th, and the 15th track was like these additional, like, just acoustic songs. You knew that band when that was happening, and then no one else knew it. You're the only one. You were introducing them to all your friends, and all your friends were like, this band's okay. Like, I was like, but you're like, dude, this band's going to blow up. They're going to blow up. They're going to blow up. And then they blow up. You chose something good. You thought that, oh yeah, this is, I'm ahead of the curve here. Yeah. But instead, what you want to then do, you want to crucify this band or this human, because then now they can just do things. They can actually just be a human. They can have, like you're because you're an accountant, you get paid every 2 weeks. You're able to like mortgage that money, or you're able to finance that money to do things, get a house, get a car, those kind of things. They're able to do that now with album money sales. Like, it's just, who cares? Yeah. It's just not like just like the old stuff. That's what I say. It's like, if you don't have to like the new stuff. You can just like the old stuff. Guess what? That stuff's not going to change. That doesn't change. Yeah, they might change and want to do other things because they have the money to do it, and they've always been like, yeah, if I had a budget of $35 million to make a movie, this is what I would do. They thought about that when they were like 15, 16, 18, 22 in college, in film school, 2 years out of film school, when they're washing dishes at some fucking restaurant, writing that script that ended up blowing up and becoming the thing that you dedicate your life to now. It's, shut up. Woo! Wow, we went on a thing. And that's all because Jimmy Buffett died, god damn it. Jimmy Buffett's passing away. Fucking Stephen Harwell, I think that's his last name. Like, I know it's Steve, right? Yeah, Steve Harwell. Yeah, he's fucking about to pass away. It's just weird times. It's just weird. So, I hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing all right. It's like I said, it's Sunday, about 6:45. We're about to hit another heat wave, I guess, next week. They're like, it's going to be in the 90s, but it's, it is what it is. We're in global boiling. It's just, so a lot of me wants to believe that, yeah, us humans, we're doing stuff. Did you see that new thing that came out saying that we already have like 200 tons worth of garbage on the moon? How? Dude, what are we doing? What are we doing as humans? It's just, how do we, you know what? Let me Google this, because that is a thing. 200 tons of trash moon. Humans have left a lot of junk on the moon, including spacecrafts remaining like rocket boosters from over 50 crash landings, nearly 100 bags of human waste, and microscopic objects like feathers, golf balls, and boots. Miscellaneous objects like feathers, golf balls, and boots. It all adds up to about 200 tons of our trash. Isn't that insane? Like, just even in the process of wanting to explore something, we are such a weird creature. And so Joe Rogan's most recent podcast had two people on that were talking about UFOs. And I always do it. I try to give these people chances, every one of them. It can go from Dogman to UFOs to stories about ghosts. It's just like, you don't have, it's always, especially with these UFO people, how it always is, it's always like, yeah, like, I talked to these people who are in the government and they gave me these pictures and, they don't want to be known. It's like, okay, that's cool. They don't want to be known. That's cool. But you say you have pictures. Why don't you have pictures with you? If I were saying I had all this stuff, I would want to be incredible. Like, because it's like this filmmaker and this fucking dude who's just a researcher who just writes papers. And it's like, but you guys don't ever show me anything. You guys just talk. It's like you just want attention. That's what it just comes off. It just comes off that it's just wanting attention. There's no sense of like, oh yeah, I actually have some sort of evidence explaining that there are UFOs. What, just Friday they released some videos. It was like another Tic Tac video, which I'm like, I've already seen this one. And there was another one where there was a helicopter. And it was like right here, and then something flew in, flew out, flew in, stopped, and then flew off the screen. And you're like, okay, maybe, I don't know. I want to believe it, But a lot of me is just like, well, why would the government want this information? Why is the government releasing this information? It's either to distract us, which could be maybe distract China, Russia. If you really believe, if you believe that we went to the moon the first time, people want to say that we either lied about going to the moon, so we bankrupt Russia, or we started this whole race to actually get up to the moon, which ended up bankrupting Russia. Either way you look at it, I think maybe we're doing it something like this to like cause another country to spend a lot of money on resources on something that is a dead end thing. Maybe there actually is something, there's always the question, like, why don't they go to other countries? My opinion is like, why would they go there? Why? I mean, they do, but why would that country want to talk? They're not blabbermouths like us. They don't want attention like we do. They don't want attention in this way. They want to do accomplishments. They want to do something and then get it rewarded in that sense. It's a lot different. Unlike Americans, where we can be like, I'm 6 months sober, and then we want people to pat us on the back. It doesn't make any sense. Like, oh, don't get me started. Alcoholics are the worst of all of them, of all the addicts. Alcoholics are the worst because they're assholes and they're pieces of shit when they're drunk, and then they're like assholes and pieces of shit when like they become sober. Because not all of them. You need to say that, but there are some. The ones that are like, I'm 6 months sober, and they post it on Facebook. It's like, why is this the first choice you want to do? Why is it this? Why is it that you want to boast and brag about this accomplishment? Why isn't it not like, well, you've been sober for 6 months and now you've like started sculpturing and now you've made this sculpture and you sold it to the Nelson Art Museum, like some art museum or some shit. Like, why isn't it like? And it's like, yeah. Then you could be like, yeah, I stopped drinking, got my shit together, started making art, boom, blew up. Like, that would make a little bit. At least it's like you accomplished. You just, wow, you haven't drank. You're just normal. Like you've done what everyone else here in this room has done. We've just been just normal. Oh, you just doing normal stuff, just controlling yourself, and okay. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just horrific, and it's just attention. And the thing is, like, nothing's wrong with wanting to get attention. Nothing's wrong with wanting to get attention. It's just that you should work for it. You should earn it. There should be some sort of thing. I've been watching this documentary on Netflix talking about like people who live to 100, and a lot of it they want to say the director keeps bringing up this thing is like about comparing it to American food. It's like, we just live on these portions and the food. It's like, yeah, but you can control how much food you put into your body. I understand that like some of the food that we have is poison, straight up poison. But the thing is, like, you got to understand is poison. It's like you got to take some ownership, some onus. You can't just be like, I am now fucking 200 pounds overweight. Woe is me. It's like, no, you caused some of it. I'm not saying you did all of it. I won't put all the onus onto you, which I should, because none of us put the fucking food in your mouth. None of us put it up your cunt. But, again, whatever. Just saying, take some ownership of it. Take some ownership. I have my dog over here, and she's passed the fuck out on a carpet. I thought about maybe if she was awake, I was going to have her on. Maybe have her talk to her ask her some questions about, she runs the numbers around town. But I don't know if she even wants me talking about that. It's probably she doesn't want to. She probably doesn't want me letting everyone know that she runs the numbers. And then like when we go on walks, that's when she does her collecting. If like someone doesn't collect, she pisses on the yard, lets them know that I was there, that she was there. It's crazy. She does it all the time. She does it a lot. So anyway, what else? What else do we have to talk about on this podcast? Word of advice, stop. Oh, more things that annoy me. Another thing annoys the shit out of me. When people are like, should I make videos about this or this or this? It's like, just make them. Why don't you just make them? It's part about being you call yourself a creator. Like, that's not part of the thing. Like, I write stories all the time. I write a story. And then right after, I wrote a story about Dog Man. And then right after I finished that, I wrote a story about a guy being in love with a girl. And then right after that, then I wrote a story about a talking frog. It's just, you just write shit. I don't ask people. I might be like, hey, do you think this would be a cool idea? But like, that's just like one of 1,000 ideas that I have just lying around. Not to brag, I'm not bragging, but if you write fucking things down, it's shocking. It's shocking. Then you can come back later and be like, wow, I have this thing that I can now talk about. If I wouldn't have wrote it down, I would not have it. Write stuff down. That's the one biggest thing I tell people. You look psychotic as hell, but nowadays you can just do it on your phone, and people just think you're just texting. You're just an asshole. So it is what it is. It just, it's so funny. I feel bad for people. Like, I used to use a piece of paper and like a pen all the time. Like, you're just writing stuff down all the time. Like, people are like, what the hell's that psycho doing over there? Like, just like, because people don't get it. Because a lot of people don't have willpower, and they don't have a drive for anything. And I hate saying that. That's one of the biggest things. If you want a word of advice, this is a big word of advice. A lot of people aren't going to accomplish shit. They're not. They're just not, because they don't have the willpower to do it. They'll try it once, they'll try it twice. They don't see any results, and they just give the fuck up. It's so weird. It's so weird. But hey, maybe it's because because you didn't have like a parent abandon you when you were a child. Maybe you don't feel like you have some sort of complex. Like, there's just things that maybe you're just an old human. You can just live your life and blah, 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 and just be an accountant and just do. But it's just that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of these people that people are trying to inspire, they're not going to do shit. They're not gonna provide anything. They don't want to provide. They just don't care to provide, which is fine, which is fair. I don't get it. I personally don't understand. I don't understand why you don't want to have a hobby. I don't understand why you don't want to pursue something that's greater than yourself, like just anything, really. But, hey, it's okay. It is what it is. To each calzone, right? To each calzone. But what I'm really trying to say is, like, if you have an idea and you want to make it, just fucking make it. Just don't ask. Just make it now. If it has to do something like racially, yeah, you might want to ask. But besides that, like, that's, if you're like writing a script or a story or something like that about something that you don't really fucking know about, then maybe you want to ask. But besides that, like, don't. Like, it's just do it. Just, oh God, it irritates the hell out of me. And what the hell are people looking at? What are all y'all looking at when you look down and you take these pictures? Because people will post like the same picture like 8 times. And like 4 of them are like of them just looking down. What are you looking down at? What are you looking down at? So it's like, just, I want to, but I feel like it's so mean. I feel like I'm just making fun of people, but I'm like, maybe that's kind of, it's not like I don't just talk. It's not like I haven't been on here for almost 20 minutes and talked shit about nothing. I'm an idiot as well. I'm a big ass moron. I'm sitting in a room with a 12-pound dog behind me who's asleep, who can't even, and I have a fake fireplace over here on the corner. Like, I know one better than anybody else. But it's just like, like, just at least I have hobbies. I do stuff. I'm one of those assholes too. It's like, one of those guys who gets just mad about people who don't do anything. And you're like, well, I don't understand. And you're like, John, just, why do you care? That's the thing. It's like, sometimes I'm like, why do I give a fuck? Why do I care so much? It's like, what are you getting out of this? Nothing, really. Nothing, other than you're just getting mad, getting incredibly upset, which just in turn just infuriates me more. And I'm just like, why are you so upset? And I have to think about that now. It's one of the great things about getting older is that part of my brain, especially as a man, it takes you till you're like mid-30s. But when it happens, though, your brain starts thinking, oh, huh, okay, well, maybe the reason why I'm acting like this is because of this. Maybe. Then, whatever. I'm going to the Steelers home opener next. Oh shit! So that's next. I don't get back till next Monday, so I probably need to record another podcast. Sometime this week, and then just like record it, edit it, and do everything like that. So then I can. I've always thought about maybe doing like a best of, but that's so boring. I think that's so stupid as hell. They're ignorant. They're dumb. Waste of time, in my opinion. Unless you're like really big, then you can do it. You can do anything really then at that point. You can tell I kind of hit. I'm like, all right, 20 minutes in. Okay, 10 more minutes. What else do I have to talk about on this thing? Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is interesting. I had some friends go overseas, right? And something they found really weird was that they went into a McDonald's, which was interesting within itself, going over to a foreign country and then eating at McDonald's. But hey, again, Americans, we do the dumbest of things. So dumb. Well, they're over there. They're like, well, what I don't understand is that there are birds inside the building, and people are just okay with it. I'm like, yeah, the doors are open because it's fucking hot. 1, 2, a lot of people don't eat this food, so it doesn't really affect them any. 3, you're in a foreign country. 4, why are you in a foreign country and eating McDonald's? It's just like, but Americans, like we do cookouts and shit. You want to eat outside, which I think is gross as hell. I think cookouts are gross. I think they're horrific. I despise the idea of cookouts, but I despise a lot of things. I just don't like a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong. There's some things I've disliked that I have recently started liking. I'm like, okay, maybe that's not as bad as I think it is. For the longest of time, I never wore slides, like the sandals. I never understood wearing slides and like long socks. I've just always thought that was like so dumb, and I'm like, and so non-masculine. And I'll admit, toxic masculinity thought right there. I will admit my faults. Recently, I got a pair of slides, and I'm like, I get it now. I understand. Simple things like that. There's other things, like I think that, maybe at 9 months you shouldn't have an abortion. Hey, simple things. I know it's your body, your choice, but I think we all can agree. There should be a time thing. I don't know where that came from, but hey, I have damn near like 6 minutes left to kill on this podcast. You don't. So you're just gonna sit here and listen to what else I got to say. Oh no, I don't know. What else do we have? What else can we do? What are the weird things that I have Googled this week? I told you Jimmy Buffett died. He died, which is crazy. ESPN and the ACC, they're going to start showing their games in movie theaters, which I find to be incredibly odd. Like, out of all the things, like, I thought it was weird that, like, they made some Taylor Swift movie, and it actually kind of upsets me. But it makes sense, though, because, again, America, we don't like birds inside the McDonald's. We don't. In a third world country, we don't like that, but yet we'll go and we'll sit and watch a live concert but a recording of it, and we'll go sit in a dark room and listen to it and watch it. Incredibly weird. So weird. So weird. I can understand doing it at home, like Beyonce's thing that she posted on Netflix. That makes sense. Do that. I don't get Beyonce. What did I always say? Like, it's a Beyonce song when like she's just yelling at you. Like, it's just, that's how you know it's a Beyonce song. It's, it is what it is. We all do it. But yeah, the ACC games are gonna be televised in movie theaters. It's weird. And then like what Spectrum, they had some sort of thing in this past week. They were like in midstream of, was it? I think it was. I want to say it was ACC games too. That they just stopped showing. They were like, hey, we can't. We had some dispute with this fucking company or with the ACC, and now they won't. They won't work with us, or they won't like show things with us. What else? What other weird things do we have here? I read was it people who smoke weed have more metal in their body? Oh, that's what it was. Weed, more metal in body. Users of marijuana have statistically higher levels of lead in their blood and urine than people who don't smoke weed. A new study found. Marijuana users have more heavy metal in their bodies. Users of marijuana have statistically higher levels of lead and what is this? Cadmium. What the hell is cadmium? Cadmium is a chemical element. Okay. The soft, silvery white metal is chemically similar to two table metals of group of 12, zinc and mercury. Okay. Zinc and mercury. And what's so funny is like, actually zinc is good to take for you. Zinc is really good. The only side effect is it makes you have big loads. If you're a dude, in their blood and urine than people who do not smoke blood, in their blood and urine than people who do not use weed. In a new study found, compared to non-users, marijuana users have 27% higher levels of lead in their blood and 21 higher levels in their urine, said lead author Tiffany Sanchez, an assistant professor of health science at Columbia University Mailman School of Public Health in New York City. There is no safe level of lead in the body according to U.S. Environmental Protection Agreement. Marijuana users also have a 22 higher cannabinoid levels in their blood than non-users, 18 higher than their urine. Sanchez said both things lead to the body can stay in the body quite long term. Cannabinoids absorb and here it was. I guess it affects your kidneys. It can affect your kidneys. So when you're looking at urine calcium, they're affecting the total body burden. But yeah, it was tested in 7,254 people. It was over a 30-day thing. So it is what it is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the show. As you can tell, it kind of went down quick, and it was just me reading off of some bullshit. Anyway, I'm done until like probably a couple days from now. I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett. Cheeseburgers in paradise.